Welcome to the Pod Bay Door.
Hello everybody, thanks for joining us. This is the Pod Bay Door. You can join us every Tuesday for info on the newest tech, movies, games, and of course our base of operations, Las Vegas, Nevada. Sit back and relax and have some fun and maybe gain some interesting and useful information along the way. You can find us on iTunes Podcast at the Pod Bay Door. Our YouTube channel is the Pod Bay Door Podcast, or find us on any of your favorite podcast apps. If you like subscribing to things and clicking buttons, then scroll down and give ours a try. We think you'll love us a lot. This is Jamey, and my beautiful co-host today is Carla Marrero. Hi, Carla.
Hi, yeah, I like that introduction.
I am very excited to talk to Carla today. She is a former Las Vegas entertainer who is now an agent and a talent representative for Las Vegas and the whole southwestern region, and now including Kansas City, Missouri. Yes, Missouri, right?
Yes, Kansas City, Missouri. Okay. But let's make sure that we have I don't want to say legitimate, but the Las Vegas entertainer.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotcha. We're going to get the inside information from Carla, what it's like to perform in Las Vegas and what the entertainment and event atmosphere is now. Also in today's episodes, we're going to hear from Adam and Sam at the LVL Up conference here in Las Vegas. They're on location and on site at the conference and will give us all of the highlights from this premier gamers gathering. Looking forward to that. But first, a big thank you to our new listeners in North Dakota and North Carolina. We really appreciate you guys. Keep listening, downloading, and subscribing. We do appreciate that so much. Keep those comments and show suggestions coming in. We love them all. As it's been so popular, we're going to go again with Las Vegas questions that we hear so often as representatives of the industry. So I'm going to get going. We tried to get some controversial ones for Carla today. So
I like it.
Yeah, I know. Carla.
Make it juicy.
Yeah, I will try. I will try. The first one, I would get a lot. I'd get this more than people always think that when I was a former concierge at the Venetian Hotel. I opened it. They call that a founder.
That's right.
Yes, and it was the hospitality industry. And let me confirm, it is not hospitable at all. And people would always ask me, what are the questions I get, and they would always say, "Do people ask you for drugs?" No, honestly, I maybe marijuana a couple times.
Oh, that's because you were the founder. You should see the ones now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But we would always direct them to a limousine or cab drivers. They all know where the weed is. Now weed's everywhere. So
yeah.
But the next biggest question, or the biggest question I got, can I get a stripper or an adult entertainer? They would say. Because they meant other things. Can I get a stripper to come to my room? Well, yeah. Las Vegas, again, we've made this clear. We talked about brothels on another episode.
I listened to that one.
Yeah, Nye County is where the brothels are. That's where prostitution, I guess we'll say, is legal. But in Las Vegas, yes, you can get dancers. And that's the extent of what they are supposed to do. They are supposed to dance.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Can you get a stripper to come into my room? Don't they have the Emperor's Room and those private rooms in the stripper clubs? That's pretty much your room.
I believe every strip club has the champagne room.
Right. Have you been there?
I have been to quite a few.
Oh, well, hey, something I did not know.
I've been to. I used to have the distinction of being able to say that I've been to all of them. But as I've careened towards being old, I no longer have that distinction. However, there's quite a few that have closed. I think the economy really crushed those as well. But we have we have all different types. Cheetahs was the very first one I went to. Cheetahs over on
I had someone I knew that worked there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it was a family member, but someone I knew worked there.
But Cheetahs, and then next to Cheetahs, which was topless, and next to Cheetahs was Deja Vu, which was bring your own. It was a juice bar, basically.
Because it was 18.
No, because it was full nude.
Yeah. Oh, well, full nude is 18, as long as you don't have alcohol.
Right.
I mean, look at Larry's.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's old school.
Topless Villa.
Yeah, that's old school.
Yeah, and Palomino, which is grandfathered past everything. Palomino, pretty much anything goes. But back to the question: can a stripper come to my room? Yes.
Yes.
Nowadays, because of the controversies involved and some problems with guys getting rolled by the strippers and their escorts, because they bring guys with them.
Oh, they stand out right side out the door.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not that I would know. It's what I hear.
Yeah, Las Vegas, people, the industry workers really kind of shy away from arranging that.
Yeah.
Because it can become a problem.
Although everybody knows a guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Everybody knows. I still know
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. He's selling my phone.
But what are the best strip clubs? It's hard to say. I mean, there's Sapphire is still around.
OGs.
OG closed.
You're kidding? I
OG
thought
is
they were
closed.
there. They had the guys section.
They did.
Now Sapphires is the only one that has a guys section.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the Cheetah's is no longer there as Cheetah's. I think it's something else.
Wow.
But
I got to ride down this road a little bit.
Right.
But I know that Sapphires, and when I do say that they have the guys there, I'm not saying a guys section meaning guys for guys. I'm saying that although it might be
male dancers.
They have male dancers
Yes.
and a separate section that females can go in. But just ladies, be warned, if you're wearing a weave or anything, they do pull your hair when they walk by. Not that I would know. It's just what I hear.
Yeah. Again. Yeah. Carla she goes to the library and then goes home. She doesn't really do anything.
That's right.
Secondly, another big question was, we have here in Las Vegas monorails, and they are actually monorails that were purchased from the Disney Corporation, the Disneyland Hotel, and they were refurbished. They had a great plan to use them here in Las Vegas, but they had a problem with the casinos wanting to chip in for track. And so I would get a lot of the questions were, can I take the monorail to all the hotels? No. You can take them to barely any of them. It's a very small loop that basically goes from we'll call it.
I know it goes to the link, right?
Yeah, it goes to the link.
So probably the Caesars properties and MGM.
You can. It doesn't roll right in there, but I mean you can take them and cross bridges and cross the roads and risk your life, trying to get across Las Vegas Strip. But and of course it goes to the Las Vegas. Its end stop north on Las Vegas Boulevard is the Las Vegas Convention Center.
Right.
And that's where it turns and comes back. But no, you cannot. It's very limited, and unfortunately, I think it was a generally failed project. Sadly so. I mean, but
bad timing with Uber.
Bad timing with Uber. I'm
And
against
Lyft.
Uber. I'm very much.
Are you really?
Very
I am
much.
not against Uber.
I'm not for taxis because they're assholes as well. But I mean,
how do you get around?
Well, you.
Oh, that's okay. Well,
you drive.
Well, when you drink.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm a regular Uber taker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like
Well,
I have a rating on me because I take it so much.
Well, yeah, you've got a rating on you anyway. I fear for your safety.
Really?
I really do.
Wow. I take Uber all the time.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm the last person you should fear for safety. You should fear
Well,
for
I
the Uber
know.
driver if
I
he
know.
gets out of line.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm okay, trust
you
me.
cut a bitch, right?
I will cut a bitch.
Well, the last question I hear a lot, and this one makes me laugh because it involves recently Bruno Mars video 24K. Can you ride? Are there actually jet ski rides in the Bellagio Fountains? No. There are not. Mr. Mars and his band had special privileges to do that. You can't do anything. You will uniquely, if you get a chance. I mean, the fountains are great and they're fun and the music is fantastic.
I was just across the street this morning at Mon Amiga V.
There you go. I'm not thrilled about all the little dirty entertainers around, but I think they tarnish, what a beautiful place it is. However, if you ever get a chance to see them maintenance it with the guys in the rowboats, it's absolutely hysterical because I mean they have to row out there. However, there is something special about it. Right below Hyde Ultra Lounge, I think it's is a special little spot that can be arranged by the everyday Joe, and it's been arranged by Bruno Mars. In fact, when he, I think he was getting engaged or he was doing something regarding his significant other. A little spot that's built for two, where you can enjoy dinner and drinks and watch the fountains, and you're right there in front of it. But it's on the Bellagio side. It's not on the street side. But it's very cool. But no, there's no water rides. There's no jet skis.
And actually, when you're at Hyde and you're at nighttime when the fountains go off,
right.
They have the glass there because you can get sprayed with water while you're.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you can feel it.
We talked about wet seats at all. See, Bellagio is just it's a wet problem apparently.
Misty, we'll call it.
We'll call it Misty. There you go. But definitely, it's a great place to see. I think it's a very positive aspect of Las Vegas. In fact, you can see them. I'm at Paris a lot, the Paris Hotel.
Yeah, me too. I love it there.
Yeah, and the view from the Eiffel Tower restaurant is something significant. I mean, the restaurant is fantastic, but it's great to see through the glass, the fountains and everything.
And Mon Ami Gaby, when you can sit outside and watch the fountains as well.
Yeah.
Drink champagne. It's a great French restaurant. And Olives is also.
Yes.
You can sit outside and watch the fountains.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, are you a foodie? Are you
sort of? I'm going to say more of a that doesn't make sense. But I like to have my champagne and different cocktails and talk and I like to do that.
So you kind of like the new movement with food and alcohol. I mean, they're sort of fluffing the whole situation up. It's no longer just crank out the free hot dogs. I mean,
I like to sit down and be with my friends and enjoy company and the experience of it all, of everything that's going around me.
That's great. That's something you can definitely do here in Las Vegas. Now, something is, Carla, I don't know if you've ever been involved in anything topless professionally. Have you?
Well, how much time do? Okay, so we'll wait till
Well, we have the topless report. Where are they naked now? Well, it's become very popular, and I try to pick a few places that where there have been topless sightings. We've talked about the Daydream over at Mandalay Bay and Marquee Day Clubs. Now, day clubs are relatively new to Las Vegas. It's just a rebirth of the pool areas, and what they've done is cordon them off in one way or another, and they have become topless now. I have spent a lot of time at topless pools, but unfortunately, when I'm there, it is not topless time. I'm working on something else. It's very, very depressing.
Yeah, you're there at like 6 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. There's nobody topless there that you want to see. But have you been? Have you been to a topless pool?
I have. I've been to the monorail.
No, really? Okay. Now, did you engage in the topless activity?
I'm going to say that I have.
Were you near your top?
My top was not near me. Let's just say that.
Okay.
And of course, with drinking, your inhibitions go down,
sure.
and you had a great time. But that was my one and only time.
Okay.
And afterwards, you kind of think about it. You're like, wow, that just happened. It would have been great if I was in San Diego or maybe Ireland, but no. I was at Morea in the town that I live in.
Well, yeah, but it's conducted well, don't you think?
Oh yeah, it was fine. And that's the strange part, and only in Vegas, right?
Of course.
That people would just treat you like you had clothes on, and it was no. And that's the thing, though, because everybody there.
Now being a veteran of 23 years, I think I've been here. How long have you been here?
Gosh, it might be close to 30, maybe 30 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
okay.
but remember, it was like I had in between time when I went back to Hawaii for 5 years.
Carla, I'm going to say originally is from Hawaii.
Yes,
that's not really true.
I am.
But
I am.
Is that true?
Yeah,
okay.
born and raised.
Born and raised, and she goes back and forth still because she loves it. Maui is yours.
I was born and raised on Oahu, but I'm from Maui.
Okay. And for those of you that want to see Carla, check our YouTube channel, and you can see that she is actually Hawaiian looking.
I'm like this. I forgot that the camera was
yes,
on.
There's a camera. But now, since you've been, like I said, I have been around the topless clubs during their topless times, and of course, what I do is not good for topless clubs. I mean, being a photographer and a filmmaker, never good. Because when they see me coming, they're all diving away. Now, how are the crowds? Because one of the problems that we all have as locals is like, it's just not a great bunch of folks. But
Mo'oreo was great.
It was great.
Oh my gosh, I went with a few girlfriends and we had a great time.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and we were having a few libations. Yeah. But so was everybody, and we got to talk with people, and it was actually, I got to tell you, I had a really good time. And it was actually me and a girlfriend of mine's first time going to something like that. And it took us probably a good 2 hours, maybe 3 hours before we got comfortable enough. Before we had about 5 drinks. Yeah. And then we said, okay, we're comfortable.
Okay.
But once you see everybody else, and then, so I could see if you're coming here as a guest, as a tourist, it would be completely easy because You don't know anybody.
So you're not just rolling in and ripping your top off.
Oh, no, gosh.
And is that, you think that's true for most women?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I think that if you're from out of town, maybe 30 minutes. But we lived there, so we wanted to make sure we didn't know anybody.
Sure.
And so, about 3 hours.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Well, see everybody. You know, it's
topless and French fries, man. It was all the way.
Nice. That's good. So topless pool. Now, did you pay to get in?
Of course not.
Yeah, of course not.
Of course not.
Yeah, not a group of girls. We've talked about that about clubs.
Yeah.
See, when you got hot Hawaiians and her friends, they're not paying.
You can go in. Plus, not only that though, but we're in the industry, so.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and me and a bunch of squidgy-looking guys.
Oh, you guys have to pay double.
We're paying. Yeah, that's right. We're paying for the privilege of being around you. Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what? The other thing the one thing that I have seen, it's been a lot of time. I've experienced. You've experienced, obviously, being here 30 plus years. New Year's Eves. You've been.
I've worked most of them.
Yeah. And they're, you know, Carla will agree with me, I'm sure, that New Year's Eve it becomes inconvenient for those of us that have experienced enough of them. You know, it is a wonderful thing to see. Vegas, New Year's Eve, Chicago, New York, they're all worth seeing.
Yeah, but on this side of the fence,
yes,
that's a day that you're going to make 3 times as much as you would on a normal night.
Yes.
And so you're always working, and basically you're just figuring out how you're going to get down there with everything that's shut off on the strip.
Yeah.
And how you're going to get out. But you never spend it with your family and your friends. You don't see the ball drop. You don't see any of that stuff.
Yeah.
You're just working. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I did a Showgirl gig for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
But on a night like that, I mean, this is back in the day.
Right.
It was $800 that night.
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine what they're paying now.
Yeah, and you're right though. It's kind of, because Las Vegas is a 24/7, 365. It's kind of depressing for us. Because I was so open to working all the holidays and giving people with families the chance. I mean, you're there with friends, like, I would mention our previous guest, Julia. I spent New Year's Eve and we watched everything. But it's kind of depressing. You're not with your family. You can't enjoy it. You're working, and the nuance of it fades, I think, after the 4th and 5th time that you've experienced it. But like you said, God forbid you're on the other side of the fence in the throng of people.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Now,
and you got to remember, you're not drinking, so you're the only one that's working, terrible. Looking at people, going, "That's what it looks like."
Yeah, no, it's horrifying. It's horrifying. Now, however, that's where I've seen the most topless activity.
Really?
Oh my gosh!
I never see any of that on New Year's Eve.
Oh my gosh!
Really?
Every time.
Lucky.
I worked at the Venetian, as you know, and the Venetian curves into the Las Vegas Boulevard at one point where the bridge is, the gates that separate the crowds from the hotel are right there, so we could see everything. We would go out and watch the fireworks and hear the music and everything else. And I would say probably 30 minutes prior, 11:30 p.m., that's when they would start. They would and most of the time it wasn't directed at me. It was at other people. It was like, "Girls are funny. You guys are funny. You make me laugh."
Okay, wait. Now, don't categorize
of any age. Oh yes, you're still girls, even in your.
I know, but
what are you? Late 30s? You're late 30s.
Yeah.
but girls will. You're silly. You're silly as little girls because you love to play dress up, and then you get big, and then you still love to play dress up, and then you start. The alcohol is flowing heavy. I mean, the shots are flowing, and people are out there, but they start lifting up their tops at each other. Oh, it's hysterical.
That's funny because I think the same way about guys. I'm like,
never
boys,
lifting our tops.
No, you do other things. You guys pull your pants down and show your ass to everybody.
Yeah.
But I laugh like boys are boys, like they never grow up.
No,
I think the same thing. Now remember,
don't.
we got the same brain right now.
Yeah.
The girls will be girls and boys will be boys, but there are men and there are women.
Yeah.
Okay. At times, I'm just saying at times, not all the time.
Right. But yeah, I would see, and the funniest ones, which is I've mentioned this before, really cool during Las Vegas, the New Year's in Las Vegas, is they have the equestrian cops out. They have the ones on the horses.
Right.
And those are great guys, and you never want to screw around with a horse. I've seen them get crushed, but that's the guy. I mean, when the horse comes around, the tops come off.
Really?
Absolutely.
Well, clearly, I'm not on the same gigs you are.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Wow, I've never seen that. I'm usually in a ballroom in a corporate event that,
Yeah.
Tops come off and HR is called.
Yeah, I don't even work New Year's Eve anymore. Thank God. Luckily the crew members go out for me. But the equestrian cops would roll by and then all kind of boobies. That's it.
I'm gonna have to follow the.
I know, exactly. and then something that you have been involved with, either as an agent or an entertainer or just as a spectator, topless shows. We still have those in town.
Yes, we do. Not,
the few and far between.
Yeah, not as much as they used to be. So I always wonder about that. Yeah. It's it seems like, and that's things that I wanted to discuss as well. Is like those kind of shows are just kind of going by the wayside.
Well, we lost Follies Bergère.
Yeah.
We lost Jubilee.
Yep.
Those are two of the biggest ones, and I've seen them both. I've known people that were entertained in both, and they were.
Do we still have Crazy Girls?
There was a new iteration of it. I think that they tried to spark up.
Yeah. Now that was a long
time
ago.
Small
showroom.
Yeah, that was the first show. I believe that was the first adult show that I saw as a visitor to Las Vegas many years ago.
It's a great show. I mean, I've known. Oh, I remember Marla, and Marla was in that show when I was 18. You know what I mean? And then I've known all the dancers throughout till the time it. And then they left the Riv.
I think the adult performer, the porn star Jenna Jameson, was in it one year.
Wow!
Yeah, she contracted. That was a long time ago.
She contracted what?
To be in the show.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were going somewhere else.
No, but that's. I didn't see her in that, but I know she was in that. But Now, have you been in a show where it was topless?
What exactly is your question? Have I ever
have you performed in a show? Yeah.
No, but I do have a good story about that.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, so I was working for a long time at Show in the Sky, and after
that's Rio
at the Rio
Hotel,
yes, and that was we opened the show, so we were original under Blair Farrington.
Okay.
Farrington Productions, my mother agency, and. We did that show, and then when everyone left that, some of the dancers had gone over to Crazy Girls. So I was thinking about going back into doing another show. Now you have to remember something. I'm not a trained American dancer.
Right.
I'm a trained Polynesian dancer.
Right.
So it's a little different. The counts are different. Just the way we do things are different.
Sure.
And so I called one of my girlfriends that were in the show, and I said, "Hey, I would like to audition. Can you get me an audition?" And I believe she was a lead dancer then. She said, "Sure." So she got me an audition, and it was an experience. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
They don't think of it like we do. They're like boobs are boobs. They don't care.
Oh no, absolutely.
So I'm in the audition with the choreographer, and we're doing stuff, and they're like, "Okay, take your top off," and I was really uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable, and I just didn't know if I was ready for it. And
it was the worst dentist visit you ever had. No,
no, the dentist visit was better. So I took my top off, and we were dancing and doing our choreography and stuff. Needless to say, I didn't get the show, but I'm okay with that.
Do you know why? I know that they never take the time to tell you why, but I mean...
but I think that...
how old were you at the time?
At the time, I was probably 28,
okay.
29.
So you've been around, you've been around the block.
No, I'm sorry. I think I was... No, I'm sorry. I was in my 30s.
Oh, you've been around a time and a half on that one.
Yeah, right. I was in my 30s. I was probably 32, 33, somewhere around there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to use a very millennial phrase, but that's very brave, for a woman in Las Vegas, because it's rough. That's a rough industry.
Yeah, it was. But you know what? The dancers there were amazing. They're so nice. They were sweet. They were, I come from that background where I've worked with them forever, and they're really great people. I mean,
absolutely, because me specifically, I wouldn't want to do it because no matter how matter of fact it is, being topless, you are once you finally get in after being judged by all of the industry mates, then you're being judged every night by the people watching you.
Right.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Now I know you turn off. I mean, there's a switch, that you turn off, and you're like, it's just
it just becomes normal, just like any other show that you do. You know,
and the maintaining weight, and I mean,
I got a story about that.
Oh yeah, we're getting to that for sure.
Okay.
Now we'll just transition right into that. When did you begin your career as an entertainer in Las Vegas?
I was 17 years old, fresh out of high school. Wow. And I remember hearing about a Polynesian show in Las Vegas. And it was funny because I was like, wait a minute, you can get paid for that? Yeah. Because I went to hula school since I was 5 years old. My mom put me in with Auntie Clark and Ia. And so I went to school and I did all, you do all your stuff. And then all of a sudden I come to Las Vegas. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I can get paid for this now?
Yeah.
So I found out that they were at the Gold Coast playing in the lounge. And it was weird because they have a like this band that does pop music, and then they do 2 Polynesian shows during all those sets.
Okay.
And so I left my phone number on the drum. They called me up. I auditioned, got the job, and my first job was at the Old Sahara Hotel in Don the Beachcomber.
You know what? I know of that show. I wasn't around to see that. I wasn't in Vegas at that time.
I did 2 shows a night, 6 nights a week, and I got paid $250 a week.
Oh, wow.
Now, mind you, this is some time ago.
At 17, though. You were just a pup.
Yeah, and I worked there for a long time. And it was funny because our dressing room was in the busser area for the Italian restaurant.
Right.
And it had a little drape. And we were to dress behind there.
Okay.
And it was funny. And then we would run on stage. So,
wow.
Yeah. And then one time I forgot to take my socks off, and I ran on stage with my socks on and my Polynesian skirt.
Hey,
it happens.
Socks, you can make up some Polynesian story. It's good luck.
And the great part about this is I ended up working for this guy for 19 years.
Wow.
And this is Rooney with Hot Lava, and I worked for Hot Lava for 19 years. And the funny part about this is now we hire him for gigs.
Yeah.
So it's come full circle.
No, I've met Rooney. Yeah. Well, that's amazing. You know what? I know a lot about Carla. She and I have been friends for long time.
I know. I was thinking about that.
Yeah. I can't remember how many years. But I never knew that story.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
Man, you were just a baby.
And you know what? I was at at some kind of art festival for local artists, and there was a framed photo. I mean, not a photo, but an artist drew an old Vegas showgirl, right? Like painting.
Right.
And it was on the Sahara wallpaper. They got the old Sahara wallpaper and they painted a showgirl in the center of it.
Yeah.
I didn't care what it cost. I bought it. I'm like, and I have it up in my house right now. And it was one of those memories where that was my first gig.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Now I have a question.
Oh,
kind of awkward.
Make it juicy.
No, I will.
I'm just kidding.
Now, again, if you're watching YouTube, you can see Carla. Carla is rather busty.
Does this say get up, be amazing, and then go to bed?
Go back to bed.
Take a nap.
That's right. Now, Carla, you're rather busty. Now, at 17, obviously, you weren't the same size, right? I mean,
no, it was close.
I'll
tell you, as most women will know, once you have a child and then you get put on weight notice for dancing, you lose a lot of weight.
That was my question. Now, you had breast augmentation.
Yep.
Yes. Did you have that for personal reasons, or did you do it for entertainment?
No, never for entertainment.
Not at all.
Yeah, because when you're dancing, you can't have you really can't have any boobs. And so, after I had finished my work with Show in the Sky and things like that, then I didn't get them till I was. I think I was 30 years old.
Okay.
And me and my cousin, that's what we did. She got something done, and I got my boobs done. It was like one of those things where we did it together.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know. I didn't know. A lot of people. You're right though. The dancers like in the true showgirl shows, they're not. In fact, they can't. They get turned down.
Yeah, and it's too hard.
I don't know. I think it's cyclical. I think the pendulum swings one way or another depending on what the stage directors what they want. I mean, I know there was a time when they were getting a little bit more busty, much like the catwalk on the major runways.
I was listening to. I'm thinking, if you bring up that movie Showgirls,
no.
I was like, it's over.
No.
Game over.
No, that doesn't. Elizabeth Berkley, I think, is gorgeous, or she was back then. But
that was the worst,
and it doesn't represent Vegas at all.
Oh my gosh,
no,
that was so far
nonsense.
from the truth.
Now, what in your opinion? To you personally, what was the hardest part about being a showgirl? Now, when I say showgirl, I mean entertainer. I know that. Now, were you ever the stereotypical showgirl, with the large headdress and everything?
Oh yeah,
you did. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's the hardest part about being that?
the headdress.
It was. They're heavy.
Yeah, they are. And you know, I did Cleo, remember, for a very long time,
Yes,
off and on, 17 years. And I'll tell you, we had an Elizabeth Taylor headdress, and if you remember the movie Cleopatra with Elizabeth Taylor, we had that exact rendition of it, and it was all metal. And then, of course, even the outfit was also from the movie. So the entire costume was 30 pounds.
Wow. Now, what Carla's talking about, for those of you that aren't from Las Vegas, is that at Caesar's Palace, for years.
I started in, I think, 1990.
1990.
No, yeah. Somewhere around there, 1990, 1992.
And well before that.
Oh, yeah.
They have a strolling characters
program, yeah.
Two of whom are Cleopatra and a Caesar. I don't know if it was Julius or Augustus.
No, it was Julius Caesar.
It was Julius Caesar,
yes.
okay.
And you should see, there wasn't just them.
No,
we had Nubian guards, Egyptian guards, princesses, handmaidens.
Right.
We had centurions.
Do they still do it?
They do, but
sparsely though.
Yeah, sparsely. I mean, you know, ever since it was taken over. If I hit that thing one more time, ever since I think Harrah's, and then Caesar's Entertainment, whatever. Whenever they took that over, it changed everything. Yeah. So we used to have a very large, procession with everyone, and we used to have shows, and we used to travel all over the world, but all that's over now. Yeah.
Now I've seen, I've had the pleasure of seeing a picture of you as Cleopatra, and it makes me smile.
It's funny. I had a good time, and that's me. I love to talk to people. I love engaging with guests. Yeah, and so that was
because that's my favorite. That was engaging with guests.
Yes, yeah.
No, but Carla is generally that ethnically ambiguous. She could pass for, with the right eye makeup. You pass for Elizabeth Taylor in a heartbeat. It was it
was really weird.
It was fantastic. Now, do you recommend the life? Or do you recommend the life that you led as an entertainer and showgirl? I mean, I had
a great time.
You had a great time.
I had a great time.
It's hard on you though, yeah?
It was. There's, you really don't have a set schedule. I mean, this is the only place in anywhere, and I think in the world, that you can have, and every other person will tell you, every entertainer, we have a book, we have a calendar. Yeah. And all we do is wait for our agents to call, and then we book things out. Right. And so there's different times, there's no schedule, and you take work when you can, or you're saving up, or you're doing stuff. So that part's a little bit difficult, but it's almost like owning your own business. You can make your, you can say, I'm not available because you want to go out of town. Yeah. Or, you can accept what money you would like to accept. So
as with most industries like mine too, there's a hustle.
Oh gosh. You talk about a hustle, yeah.
Not a lot of turning down in the beginning, though. I mean, you try to take as much as you can.
You do, and then you got to remember that when you start turning things down, you start going to a different list because, I think I was a number one for probably 3 agencies when I was working. And when you're a number one, that means that you're reliable, you show up on time, and they will always call you because they know they don't have to send anyone there, or they know that you'll do a good job and the client will be happy and everything will be good. Yeah. Like I have those on my list now. But when you do that, you don't want to say no, because then they'll find someone else, and all of a sudden that person is as good as you. Yeah. And they become that list.
So informally, there's an A, B, C group.
Yes.
And then out.
There's also like a XYZ. Okay. When you're desperate.
Okay. Now, turning down jobs. Obviously, you try not to when you're in the beginning of your career as a Vegas entertainer. But that brings up my next question: were you ever asked to do anything that you turned down because of what it was, rather than not being available?
Yeah, if I ever felt uncomfortable with something, like if they said, we have this gig and it's going to be riding in a limo to go to, and you're just there as a hostess, and you're just riding in a limo to go to a different hotel, or you're driving to Mesquite, or you're going here, I'd be like, I don't feel comfortable with that. Yeah. I like to work with other girls and, things like that, but that would probably be something that I was uncomfortable with. I'm trying to think of.
What's the strangest thing that you were ever asked to do as an entertainer? I mean, wear a bear suit and hand out flyers. I mean, what?
Do you mean besides putting the Queen Zulu suit on that had the big boobs and the big feet and the big head with fans in it and do it twice a day. Besides that,
wow.
Yeah.
And
Zulu.
What were you paid for that?
That was part of the show in the sky.
That was part of the show.
Yeah, and you know what? I did it with my counterpart Randy, and he was King Zulu. And you know what's funny? We had a really good time because we were the only ones that didn't have to put on any makeup or do our hair for the first show.
There you go.
So we could show up right before the show started. But I think the strangest and coolest thing I've ever done was, I think it was 2001. The Caesars decided to do a big New Year's Eve event.
Okay.
And they made a coliseum
in
the ballrooms.
Nice.
It was something that was incredible. And I rode in on an elephant named Tiny.
Nice.
I've never, I mean, who can say they rode in on an elephant?
That's right.
Yeah, I rode in on an elephant wearing the Elizabeth Taylor. Yeah, and they had me slide right off the elephant, and that was my entrance.
So you're I'll use a terrible term, but your heyday as entertainer was 90s, right? I
thought my heyday is still happening.
Oh, is it still? No. Well, but now you represent talent.
Yeah.
Now because you take all of that experience that you've had, the elephants and the topless and everything else, and then you can direct these young kids.
And that, I think that's what separates me a lot from other, a lot of other agencies, is that I know exactly where the talent's coming from.
Yeah.
So I make sure their life is cush as well.
Sure.
Because I know what it's like to wear those headdresses or to stand around for 8 hours and not do a thing. And it just goes crazy in your head when you're doing conventions and stuff. So I try to make things fun and entertaining and engaging and teach them that, hey, listen, if you find somebody and just talk to guests, your time goes by like that.
Well, but you didn't get away from the hustle, though, did you?
Oh, no. I'm still hustling. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's my life. I'm a hustler.
That's right. Hard to be a pimp. Now, we'll transition to that. Carla is now your agency is called
Mrs. Events Consulting.
Okay, and your .com is
www.mrs-events.com.
And that's mrs-events.com.
Right, and you want to make sure you put the dash in there. Otherwise, it goes to a site that don't go to the site. Never mind.
Yeah, you might have to pay to get in.
Yeah, you might have to pay to get in.
So mrs-events.com,
right.
And you represent, whom do you represent?
Well, I have everything you can think of that has to do with entertainment, so nothing tangible. I have just people.
Okay.
And so you could say...
So you don't do flowers and
oh, no. We tried...
linens and...
Yeah, we tried to do that one time. Wow, that was a major fail. I mean, we did that and we were like, wow, shit just got real.
Okay.
So we don't do that. But we have bands and multicultural talent and specialty acts and MCs and solo artists. And we do anything. We do mostly corporate events and high-end weddings.
Now you jump around from Las Vegas to Kansas to Mesquite. I know there. Now, do you cover West Coast? Do you cover anything in LA and things like that?
I do.
You do?
I do sometimes. And the one thing that I think is great is that I have a lot of agent friends.
Mm-hmm.
I have a great agent friend, Sally, in Utah.
Okay.
And she actually calls me when she has events in Vegas and I can help her. I also have another agent here in town,
Right.
Ian Hammer, who's great. We work together. And we utilize both our talents together. So if they need something in another state, in another country, or anything, they just call me and we work it together and we send whatever they need.
You see, that's a unique situation, because I'll be honest with you, in my industry, especially photographers, I'm not a giant fan of people, as Carla knows after all these years. I am my least favorite bunch of yokels are photographers, because they are not like that. They hold close to the breast their talent, if you want to call it that, and their techniques, and there's no sharing. There's no calling up this, calling up that. Now, I know I'm going to get comments and calls and everything else, but the majority of my experiences have been negative, because it is a hustle. And they're just trying to get ahead now. So I'm very, very encouraged to hear that you have a chain of people that will help each other. It's wonderful.
Oh, I have lots, and I got to tell you, I'm a true believer that anything that or any way you can help someone, you have to do it freely.
Yeah.
And I think that because I've done that, I've attracted this same, and I don't look at them as my competitor. I look at them as my friend or someone that we can eventually, there's enough business. This is the entertainment capital.
I totally agree.
And you know what? If I can help you or you can help me, then we should do it. And you know what? I have I have 4 of these agents that we work together with. And it's one of those things, even if there's something that we can do together, we just split the commission. Yeah, it's a little bit less, but you know what? They help me. I mean, they really help me when I'm in a bind, and I can help them in the same way.
Well, that's great. And I know that you're an extremely positive person. And you've been a positive influence in my life too. I mean, there's
thank you.
Well, there's many jobs that I've worked together where we had
many, like over 10 years.
Yeah, we both had to land our balloons together to try to get over the bad people that we've worked with. But,
does everyone know that you're the only photographer I've used for the last 10 years?
Well, I've not made that clear in the show, but I've always appreciated that. Now I have worked with, I can't say that I have seen a lot of talent that acted inappropriately. People always hear about runway models and things of that nature. And now I have seen some. I've seen some good cat fights on the catwalk.
Yeah. That's because you hire models.
Yeah, right.
I hire dancers.
There you go. It's not specific to girls. Girls, I mean, there's the catty thing and everything else, and girls are mean to each other, and girls, if they'll admit it, girls are mean. They're just mean to each other, and they're mean to everybody else.
They can be. Boys are a little more passive aggressive.
Absolutely, absolutely. But have you had that stereotypical model agent, singer agent, where you just...
All the time.
Yeah, do you really?
Yeah, all the time. And it's, and you know what? I have some really great models, and I hold them very close. They're the same girls I use all the time because I get no drama from them. When I do my fashion shows, though, I pretty much use all dancers. You know why? Because they remember choreography. Right. They don't fight, and they love each other, and they're pretty peaceful. Yeah. But as for some of the incidents that happen, I mean, there's a couple of rules that I like to enforce where if it's an out-of-town gig that I'm sending some girls out on or whatnot, I try to tell them, don't drink, even in town. Don't drink with the people you're working with.
Yeah.
So one great story, and this is years ago, I had a girl, she was working a convention and everything was great, beautiful girl, sweetheart, she's worked great for me. I get a call the next day from my client saying, I need you to come here and pull this girl off of the floor and replace her immediately. I'm like, oh my gosh. I drive down there. I'm like, what happened? What's going on? And I'm thinking, I'm freaking out. She's like, well, she decided to go out with some of the guys last night and decided to talk about her sexual adventures and then started talking about the day after pill. I was mortified. I pulled that girl off the floor, had a replacement ready, and I had to tell her, I'm like this, what made you think it was okay to go out with the salespeople and drink and then talk about your personal life and it not come back? Yeah. I go, are you an idiot?
Well, it's the world we live in. I mean, I've railed on, on the podcast here, about how I'm discouraged how the United States is turned into, everybody's so damaged and so offended and so bullied, but unfortunately that story is very common. I tell all my guys, it may seem like you're friends with them and they never, and if the client wants to have that type of or wants to speak that way, listen but don't say anything, and it's just I would love to argue and say they're being too touchy, but in that particular case, no, they're
the day after pill.
I know.
Come on, Jamey.
I didn't know that existed anymore.
Well, of course, this was a little while ago. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, if you mention the day after pill, I wanted to punch her in the throat. I was like, come on.
Now, have you had more trouble with talent or clients?
Oh, gosh. Well, this is my motto. You have to train your clients.
Yes.
You have to train them. You have to remember, you're the professional here and you know what you're doing. They have no idea. They're professional in their business. They are not professional in the event that they are producing, regardless if they do it every year for the last 30 years. Sure. This is something you do every day. Yeah. So, I'd like to train them and explain to them, okay, wait a minute now. If this happens, this is what's going to happen. If we don't get this, this is what's going to happen. And a little lesson I've learned, twice that cost me a lot of money is every conversation, everything, put it on paper, have them sign it.
Yeah.
Everything. It was a $60,000 lesson for me, but I got to tell you, now everything, an addendum, it doesn't matter. Listen, if you do what you want to do, this is what I'm afraid will happen. I think you should change your mind. Nope, I want to do it. Sure, sign right here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And then when it does happen the way you said it was going to happen, and you show them that signed paper, you still get your $60,000.
Yeah.
So that was a tough lesson. And then the other lesson I wanted to say real quick is I can't express enough: do not drink with your clients. Not me, because I might be the only person in the world that can handle her alcohol. I love to listen. But like the entertainers, they just don't know. And there's been, even when I was with a couple of girls today, I said, hey, can I tell your stories? And they're like, oh, okay, just don't say our names. And I'm like, but the same thing. They go out drinking.
Right.
And they tell their sob story and they start crying and everything, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then the other one starts making out with some of the guests, and and then another one goes crazy because she feels she's being disrespected by the other one. I'm like,
and we're back to topless.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she got topless.
No, okay.
But and I will say in her in her defense, it was kind of cute, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know, it's one of those things. When you start drinking, you got to know your limit. Back in the day, we could drink. I mean, the band, the dancers, we would always have a couple drinks.
Oh, yeah.
But we knew how to pull our shit together and perform and be professional. These girls now, they just don't know when to stop, or when it's that level where like, okay, you know what? My top's going to come off. I need to stop drinking. Something like that.
Carla,
not that the tops went off. I just wanted to bring it back to what you were saying.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. See, that's a huge thing in Vegas, because Vegas lures you in. Still, after all these years, that's what it is. It's drinking. It's fun. It's debauchery. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas was a great campaign. I think it got a little stretched, but Vegas is a great place to come. But I think that we don't do what all these tourists do. You don't, no. We don't. And Carla knows that I don't drink at all. So you're right.
Listen, I've tried. Oh wait, I think I got him to have a sip.
You did
at Brooklyn Bowl.
You did.
Remember?
Yes, I did.
I had to have the alcohol shake. And
That's right.
I think I got
you had
Jamey.
A bourbon milkshake.
Yes, and I think I got Jamey to drink that.
Did. I think you did.
I just want to say, I did it.
That's right. Well, now Carla, it's shameless plug time. We got Miss MRS-events, mrsevents.com,
right.
And that's for everything Carla does as it regards talent representation. So if you're talent, You provide to events, you provide to venues, you provide
a lot of corporate, a lot of weddings, and we also look for things that are outside of the box.
Okay.
Everyone calls me and they're asking for strange things, as you'll see on Facebook. You'll see my Facebook, and the only time I ever get on there, you'll see it say "looking for."
Okay.
I mean, the last time was a pig, and remember, and I got it.
Yes,
pig, that was for my daughter's wedding on Saturday.
Right.
But
hello, Kuipo.
Yes,
and her husband's her
Dennis. Her fiance is Dennis.
Yeah. Congratulations. I won't be able to attend, but I wish you all the best.
Yes, and I'm so excited about that.
Okay,
so, but yeah, I do that, and we like multicultural. We like just things that are just really outside the box. When you're looking for something strange, everyone always calls me.
Yeah.
And so, and I have talent that is all over Nashville, LA, China. I mean, just different places that if you need them and you have the cash, I can pull it in.
And if you're a solid entertainer of any type, you can contact Carla so you can be part of her books.
Absolutely.
All right. Yep. Now another thing Carla does, now I don't know if you do this now, I know because your entertainment business, it takes most of your time, but you deal a lot with golf, yes?
I did. And actually I just closed down my company. But at the same time, I still help them because I am an avid golfer. An avid player. I never really say golfer. Yeah. I'm an avid player, and I love the game of golf. And I actually get to work with, and I love her, Bailey Mosher. I get to work with her from the PGA, from the Golf Channel.
Oh, I know Bailey.
And I work with Bailey at the PGA show, so that's a lot of fun. So you'll see us work together there. And I just think that it really is the mecca of golfing is playing in Mesquite, Nevada. And so I still help them. I still send groups there.
Okay.
And I love it. But I don't really I closed down Tea Time with Carla a while ago because this business has been so good.
Yeah.
And Tea Time takes a lot of work because the age group that I work with, of course, doesn't work well with digital stuff. So it's a lot of hand holding and I just don't have the time.
Now, something very popular in Vegas, I think it's still popular, are the golf. I don't know what you call them. It always seems so insulting to call them like the golf bunnies or whatever you want to call them. No,
they have the par mates.
Par mates and things like that. Now, is that something you can arrange as well? Like if a group wants to come in, that's part of your talent area?
I'm actually doing that on Tuesday, the 16th for Audi Las Vegas.
Okay.
My girlfriend Mary's there, and she is doing a golf tournament for Audi at Spanish Trails on Tuesday. And so she said, hey, do you think that I could get some girls, to do the golf thing? And I'm like, I do. And so last year we had Melissa and Tala, and this year Tala's doing it again, but I still am looking for one more girl.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and they have a lot of fun, and Mary's just like me, so she's like, don't worry, they'll have fun.
You heard it right here. Now, the podcast, the Pod Bay Door has been enjoying some great success. So, I mean, what you're saying is getting out to a lot of people. We have globally. We actually have people in India listening right now. So.
Wow. I'm like, that's namaste. When I worked at Caesars, that was my thing. I went and found all the different cultures and learned their greetings or their goodbyes so I could always speak with the different cultures. That was a lot of fun.
That's great.
You're lucky I didn't write some juicy questions for Jamey.
No, I'm the least controversial person around. That's why I'm the host.
You're the least. Come on.
No, what have I done?
No. I'm just saying that I think that I think there's some things that are in there. Come on, there's a vault, and I'm gonna say maybe on I don't know. We'll say 15 or 16 podcasts.
Yeah.
I want to come back.
Okay.
And I want to be able to ask these questions, and just as much as you've wanted every person where I'm sitting to be honest, I'm going to dig open that grave.
I'm in.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
You just got to let me know when you come back. Carla spends most of her time in Kansas now.
No, I'm here once or twice a month.
Okay.
Yeah, and I call you every time I'm here.
Well, that's
right.
True.
We have our smoothie, and we have
we'll get all right. You get your questions ready, and I promise you, I will answer everything honestly.
Okay, good. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be juicy.
I know. Well, now, you know what? We're going to go to Adam and Sam. Adam and Sam are on the floor they're doing a field report at LVL Up, and it's called the Ultimate Vegas Gaming and Anime Convention. It's everything gaming and gamers, and they have esports and everything else. But Adam and Sam are there right now, and they're going to give you a quick report. So how you doing, Adam?
Hi, guys. You said it. Sam and I here representing the Pod Bay Door podcast, the LVL Up Expo at the Cashman Center in Las Vegas. There's some great crowds here enjoying everything from fantasy card games, PC and console gaming, and even old school stand-up arcade games. The vendor displays are fantastic. They have comic books, action figures, and gaming and movie memorabilia. Everything's represented this year in the expo, movies, tech, gaming, and of course anime and cosplay. We just enjoyed some of the panel discussions, including a spotlight on the voice actors for the Dragon Ball Z series. The rooms were packed and the QA line was out the door. Cosplay is a huge part of LVL Up this year. We've seen some crazy costumes from Star Wars, DC, and Marvel, and of course gaming.
We had a great time, and big thank you to LVL Up. Be sure to catch your YouTube channel, the Pod Bay Door Podcast, to see the highlights of the LVL Up report. Back to you and Carla in the studio.
All right, Carla. One thing we do here is called gear grinders, and it's something that is born out of my irritation with people and what people do. And you and I have had wonderful conversations about just generally how people are idiots. So not that I do want to say though my earlier comment about photographers. It's not overgeneralized, but I want to make sure that there are some wonderful photographers I've worked with. Filmmakers and whatnot. Kelly Schwartz, I don't know if you saw that episode, but great filmmaker. And so there are some spotlight people out there, but most people suck. So, Las Vegas has been known for something that we all as locals have prided ourselves on, but now it's over. Paid parking. bullshit.
Do you know?
What is that?
Do you know when I went to Mona Me today?
Me? Yeah.
That was the same thing. I was like, oh my God, it's parking. I got to pay for parking. But luckily, Caesars Entertainment for 1 year, if it's free with your Nevada driver's license, you just have to scan it.
Well, but that's new, and MGM had the same thing. MGM,
they did it for a month.
They did. Well, yeah, they did actually. They started. We got December of 2016. Now, as vendors, I'm lucky. No, you don't get it. See, I get. I get it.
Well, now
free.
I charge the client. I have to charge the client for every single person, and it's $15 a person.
So it's horrible.
So if when I'm doing JCK coming up, I've got, I think 22 people that's working. They have to pay $15 a person. What is that?
Well, it's terrible, and it really, people. Unfortunately, the math is not working out for us. I saw a report recently that everybody, we all, the hue and cry was all negative because we were saying, the locals especially, we're not coming.
Yeah.
We're paying $10 goddamn for this, and that they said we're gonna hurt your business. Well, unfortunately, it's not hurting the business, but they're not making the money they thought they were going to make. A little lower than 7% of the ancillary sales that are involved in casinos' revenue has to do with parking. And it's definitely not making a huge profit, but we don't have the Raiders here yet. Yeah. We don't. T-Mobile is not really yet caught on. I don't think it's okay. It's not. It's okay. I love to see the fact that they're having multicultural things there, and and it's great. The Smith Center is obviously far better. Yeah. But so we'll wait to see. Are you Raiders? Yes or no? I've asked them. No.
No.
You don't. Yeah.
No.
Why?
Yeah.
The crowds. Or no crowds.
I'm a Chiefs fan now.
Are you a Chiefs fan?
A big Chiefs fan, and I have friends.
You're the other one.
Yeah, and I've got friends in Hawaii who actually flew from Hawaii to Kansas City to watch the Raiders and the Chiefs and stuff. But that crowd's pretty rowdy. Nothing against Raider fans. Nothing against Raider fans.
Do you think they're coming? Do you think the LA and Oakland are coming?
I do.
Really?
I do.
See, that's my point. I don't think they're going to come. I think we're going to have a 65,000 square seat stadium, and there's not going to be a damn person there.
No, I think they're going to come.
And there's only 8 games. There's only 8 games in the season.
I know, but you got to think about this. Think about the clout that Vegas really has.
Yeah.
I mean, they've made some crazy shit happen.
Yeah, but we have the exhibition basketball, and that always goes badly. There's always shootings and fights and everything else.
Yeah, that is what I'm worried about is bringing that in, because at the games, people are so passionate about their teams. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were fights that broke out in Kansas City, and we never have fights over there.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we have a terrible history for that. I mean, we have the boxing and matches we've had. They clipped Tupac.
Well, that's because we have all these different people.
Or Biggie which one got Biggie was killed here? Was it Biggie or Tupac?
No, it was Tupac.
Tupac, okay.
Yeah. And remember, it's still undecided.
Sure.
Yeah. But, I think because we have all the people that come here and the tensions are so high and everybody's from out of town. And, of course, we are run by our egos. Yeah. And so that's why all this bad stuff happens.
All right. Well, all this came from the paid parking, which we're tremendously against. I think it is going to affect the Las Vegas profits, the casino profits negatively. I think it's going to be a decade until they see it. I'm so against it, but I'm also very lucky being a vendor that I get to avoid some of it.
Okay, well, we're going to have to talk later about how you avoid it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I need that pass.
Okay.
Well, but, I will say this, that you remember
be an
Vegas?
Honorary.
I work for TV photography. And so I also know that... how do I explain that? Like, with everything that's going around, it's not casino anymore. This is not a gambling. Everyone's going for the retail. All these hotels are doing retail stuff, and I think that's why they went to the parking.
I think so too. I think it's a future. It's a chessboard in Las Vegas now, and that's their move. And I think they're trying to capitalize on what may be coming in. Who knows? But it's certainly inconvenient, and you don't just suddenly start charging. There's not some dude there taking a few bucks. They have to install, and it's all credit cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unmanned. You have to have a credit card at the ready, and of course, everybody, guys are sitting on their wallets, and when they're not ready, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, I know. Well, think of how long it took me when I was trying to find my driver's license so I could get it for free.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. I could go on a rant forever about that, but I'm just not happy about the parking.
Yeah.
And not only that, you got to pay that that for parking, you got to pay double to
Yes.
valet.
Oh.
And think about, you know what? My future son-in-law
Yes.
works. I'm not going to say anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but they don't make the tips.
Oh no, they've ruined that.
If I gotta
They've ruined the
pay,
industry.
if I've got to pay $15, $20, $22 or whatever to park at City Center or whatnot,
Exactly.
I'm not giving you $1. I hope they pay you $20 an hour now.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. They said that it has really gotten bad, and they're not making any tips.
Oh, the waves from it, I think, haven't hit the shore yet. I mean, it's they've affected the valet industry. They've affected the bell industry because you get out paying $20 for parking. You're definitely not going to tip the valet. You're irritated, and you're not going to tip the bellman because you're already $20 and you haven't done anything.
And these poor guys were, I mean, I always give 5 or 10, but these poor guys are only making $2 or $3 because those people aren't spending any money because they're not used to the tip industry in Vegas.
Right.
Now you're making them pay $15, $22.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something? They're not getting a dime because they think they're getting a part of the charged, and they're not getting it.
No,
I want everyone to know, please tip your valet guys. It's not their fault.
Right.
They're getting the same amount of money and they're not making any tips. It is unfair.
I agree. Well, she's right. We could talk about
Look at me.
this
I'm
forever.
like this.
I
I'm
know.
so upset.
She's upset.
I'm upset. That helps pay for my daughter's wedding,
That's right.
This Saturday. I'm so excited.
Oh,
My
I'm
daughter's getting
excited
married.
too. I think it's fantastic. Now, the next thing. Now, Carla and I are without question. Now that she's far younger than I am. She looks far younger than I do.
Am I not older than you?
No,
you're a year older than me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 10 years.
That's right. But we are not millennials by any means. Now, Carla.
Yes.
You and I both are in the industry, however, that we live and die by our phone. Our phone is our business.
Yes.
In fact, you mean
this thing right here?
Yeah. Before, as we were getting ready here in her office, we were both on the phone.
Yes.
And
looking at each other, going 2 minutes. 1 minute.
2 minutes. 1 minute. Now, how do you feel about the cell phone presence in our lives now? I mean, I can't walk in. I walked into a grocery store today, and I can't get to where I'm going because there's a girl texting, doing whatever. I mean, there's people. We're shooting our food. We're shooting our drinks. We're texting. We're doing this. We're doing that, and with our heads hung low. And we're not paying attention. How do you feel about it?
I'll tell you this. There's a few rules that I have. There are no phones at the dinner table. And at nighttime, all phones have to go on silent and be somewhere else.
Really?
At a certain time. Absolutely. And even, even though my daughter, she's 27, and so that would be kind of on the cusp, right?
No, she's right there in the millennial.
Is she?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she's far from it.
Yeah.
Far from it. I mean, everybody says our kid's the greatest.
Adam, for example.
Adam's not.
He's on the ass end of it.
Yeah, but he's not. He's also not the. Not that millennials are bad. I mean, I've learned a lot and I studied a lot about them. These guys are they're hard workers. They really are. They are task-oriented people. You just have to tell them what they need to do, and they're But that's the thing. Remember before they said, okay, no one would do social media when we're growing up. Right now, they're like, okay, some people spend about 30 minutes on personal calls or whatnot.
Yeah.
Now, in this stage of everyone, they're spending 3 hours on social media daily at work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. But yeah, I just think that.
Do you take pictures of your food?
I'm a Yelper.
Are you?
Yeah. So I do take a few photos of my food, but I'll tell you the reasoning why I do it.
Okay.
Because I think bad service needs to be reported, but even more importantly, I think great service needs to be told. And so when I have really great service and really great food, I want the people that own that place or the corporation that has, that owns all of it, I want them to know that I had great service and I had some great food.
Yeah, but you're not taking pictures of every damn burrito you're...
No, I take a picture of my meal and I put my phone away and I do Yelp when I get out the door.
Because you're big. I know you do family dinners. Now, I'm assuming
no phones at the table.
Phones at all.
No. And when we do family dinner, we're talking about 12 people at the table.
Bunch of crazy Hawaiians.
Yeah, just talking and Samoans and we got Japanese and we got Puerto Ricans. Yeah, it's all crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, we don't like the phones at the table because we actually sit down every Sunday from the time I was probably born. I don't know. But every Sunday my family gets together for dinner still. And a family that eats together stays together.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Does it upset you that you're so tethered to your phone? Upsets me every day. Especially when I forget it or something, it drives me nuts that I'm so tethered to an inanimate object like that.
Yeah, but at the same time,
it makes me money.
Yeah, it does. But at the same time, like I haven't checked it this whole time that we were talking. Do you know why? Because this is important.
Yeah.
And I got to remember something. Here's a little note for you.
Yes.
This is here for your convenience, not anyone else's.
Yeah.
And I have to remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a good.
No, it is. It's there for my convenience.
You know.
So if someone's calling, they're like, "Why aren't you answering me? Why aren't you answering me?" Because now I have time to.
Yeah. See, I have a tendency to not tendency. I have a I return. I return your text immediately.
Right.
And I do this, and if there's a delay, I've had people, including you, think there's a problem. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's been 10 minutes.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes.
And you're right. I think that's a bad precedent to set, because you're right. It is.
It's your convenience.
My convenience. Your convenience. Yeah.
And when sometimes someone will say this is time sensitive.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. But otherwise, I don't need to check my phone because everything I've planned everything out, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
If someone needs something immediately for an emergency or whatnot, you should probably could have called me last week or yesterday.
Yeah.
You made it an emergency. And so now I'm going to have to charge you 3 times.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
See, Carla is also old enough to remember those days when you had to go home and call somebody back on your house phone.
You mean when the beeper said 911?
That's right.
Yeah, and I grabbed...
Beeper? I'm talking about even before that.
Oh, you mean when the cordless phone came out and you thought you were the coolest thing ever?
Yeah, when the suitcase, it was this big. And you had
I had them all. I had the brick. Actually, I borrowed my friend Dean's brick because
I never had a brick.
I couldn't afford one.
I never had a brick.
He had one, so I just borrowed his.
No, I'm talking about way back in the day when payphones were still around.
Yeah, I had the cordless phone, and I thought I was like, I thought I had everything.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Amazing. Well, Carla, it's time for Area 52. Guys, we try to pick out some really interesting things about Las Vegas. And I really go to great pains to try to find things that people don't know that aren't from here. And actually, I've surprised people that are from here. The first one here, astronomer Carl Sagan. Las Vegas has a checkered past, as you can hear from Carla's story. And those are just a couple of stories about Carla.
Some of us wear them.
That's right. That's right. Astronomer Carl Sagan, Martin Sheen, the actor and singer and Rhodes Scholar, I might add, Chris Christopherson, have all been arrested in Las Vegas. They were arrested specifically together in a nuclear protest about the testing site. Oh, wow. This was years ago. However, we've had some recent ones. We've had, and I'm sure all of these people will remember these names, Paris Hilton, of course, O.J. Simpson, of course, Adam Pac-Man Jones, Bruno Mars was arrested, not for the jet skiing, but for something else. Vince Neil, Motley Crue, Suge Knight, speaking of Biggie and Tupac, Floyd Mayweather, my buddy over there at Popeyes, and Flavor Flav. They've all been arrested here in Las Vegas for one reason or another. I know there were some drugs and there was some fighting and there was some
allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. Well, I don't know if it's alleged if they've already served time. I think.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, book them, Dano.
That's right. The next one I found very interesting. I didn't know this. The urinals at the Main Street station were built and attached to a part of the Berlin Wall.
You're kidding.
I am not kidding at all. Now,
what?
Yes. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Now,
are you making this up?
I am not making this up.
I'm going to Google it.
Please do.
I'm going to GTS that.
Please do. I would love to be corrected on this stuff, but thus far I've been absolutely 100% correct.
I got to look this up. That's crazy.
Look that up. Now, you've been there. You've been Main Street.
That's where all the polys hang out.
That's right. Speaking of that, the last one in Area 52, Las Vegas, is popularly known as the ninth island of Hawaii.
That's right.
I don't know if the Hawaiians actually say that. Do they?
No, they do.
Do they still?
Yeah,
say?
Because we have such a large population of locals here. I mean, think of all the stuff that we do.
I know.
We did a Polynesian show yesterday at the Las Vegas Convention Center.
Yeah.
I mean, can it get more Hawaiian than that?
I know. Do you still hula?
No.
You got the hips for it?
Nah, I just, you know what? When I retired.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, I'm done. Yeah. Or I'm going to have a hip replacement. I go, I'm done.
But absolutely. If anybody ever catches me on a fact check, I'm not going to trump you. You let me know.
Be careful. Check it carefully because I know you do your homework.
I do.
Yeah.
Because I find this town interesting. I still do after 23 years. I've been here 23, almost 24 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a vet for sure. But please do, and let us know, what you want to hear. We try to keep Las Vegas as a keystone to this podcast, but we talk about all different types of things. We have friends come in, but I want a huge thank you to Carla.
Oh, thank you. That
so
was
great to see you.
I'm glad we get to spend time together. I mean, this is like,
I know.
I mean, we've talked this long just without the mics in front of us and the headphones. So.
Well, you left us. You left us.
Not really. I'm here right now.
Oh, well, that's true.
I mean,
but
this is still our office.
You've got a big party, and it's a huge party.
Yes.
But again, her daughter and her soon-to-be husband, and again, his name is
Dennis.
Dennis, yes.
Yes.
They're getting married tomorrow.
I just learned how to pronounce his last name.
Oh yes.
Frauchi. I can't even spell it.
And what's the background on Frauchi?
I'm gonna find out by.
So their little babies are gonna be Polynesian, Hawaiian,
and
Frauchis.
Wisconsin. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got 50 people flying in from Wisconsin.
And a pig.
And we have a pig that we're cooking in the Emu.
Yes.
Underground. Yeah.
You are doing that.
Yes.
Wow.
We're having a cultural wedding.
That's fantastic.
Miley Lays, Pikakis. My cousin Donna and Kathy came in from Hawaii today to help me with all of the foliage we bought from the Big Island to make the arch.
Are we doing poi?
Yeah, we have poi. We have
anybody that makes good poi. Is there good poi? I've had bad poi.
you just have. Oh, it was just spoiled. Just put some sugar in it.
Yeah.
But we have chicken long rice, spam musubi. We got kalua pig, terry chicken, terry beef, haupia for dessert. We got all that stuff.
Now, what's a Hawaiian good luck to the kids? What do they say? What's good luck in Hawaiian?
Oh, you know what? I might
is there
have
a good luck phrase?
GTS that myself.
Well, good luck to them in English.
Yes, and you know what? Yeah, I love them, and I'm excited for them.
Okay, excellent. Well, again, thank you, Carla, for coming here.
Of course.
Yes, you're going to come back because you're threatening to have these questions for me. I can't imagine what you're going to say.
I can't wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thanks to everyone listening and watching. You can catch the Pod Bay Door on the Podbean app or any of your favorite podcast apps, including iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, and Stitcher Radio. You can watch our show on our YouTube channel, the Pod Bay Door Podcast. Please download, like, and subscribe. Our social connectivity screen is coming up. Check in with us on Facebook, Twitter, and WordPress. The Pod Bay Door is closed, and talent is out.
Yes.
Hey everybody, thank you very much for tuning into the show. We would love to hear your show suggestions and comments. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, please click to subscribe. You can also connect with us on Facebook using @PBD Podcast, on Twitter using @TPBD Podcast, and on WordPress at thepodbaydoor.wordpress.com.